I actually think Vida wants, I think she's grown up in an environment which is full of expectations about worldly success and status, and she's been to those kinds of schools where you're conditioned in that way to think that that's what is meaningful in life. But I think intuitively as a person, Vida wants to love someone and to be caring towards them and to make a stable, safe and loving environment. I don't think really it's in her nature to be a sort of high achiever in any worldly external sense.
Thought you flushed yourself down the toilet.
You are so talented.
I found it liberating that we only did a few takes of each moment. So yeah, in that way it did influence. I always find in a job, kissing is never like kissing, and you never remember it after it's done. You know, I've watched films or things that I've done and I've completely forgot that there was a kiss in that scene because it's not like a kiss in real life. It's somehow completely different. So no, it wasn't. There was no hesitancy. When we started, we were doing the dirty dancing move where he jumps into my arms and I pick him up, but obviously I can't do that. So he launched himself into me and I fell over and I whacked my legs so hard that for the whole rest of the dancing sequence I was it hurt for days afterwards. So I was trying to pretend that it wasn't killing all the way through it. So that's what I remember from it, but it was fun. We grow up thinking that if something's right, it's right, no matter what. And I think both Vida and Arthur learned during this film that things can be, you can have a love for someone, but actually love isn't enough. You need to be able to make it work as well.
The fuck do you think I want to marry someone in Port Talbot for? You get your management job at the works and go down the pub every Saturday night, get pissed with your mates. I don't want that in my life!
I do think they have a future after it finishes. I really like structurally in the film that it is genuinely open-ended, I think, at the end. You sort of end with a beginning, right? And I think I don't know, because I really don't know if they're going to stay together forever. I think it would be great if they did. The locations are really beautiful and the characters are from such picturesque worlds. Vida from her sort of affluent London background, and Arthur from his really picturesque but totally contrasting Welsh background. I think aesthetically there's a really lovely thing about the film, I hope, that will be there. So you know that thing when you watch a film and you sort of are jealous of the world of it? I think maybe there'll be a bit of that, you want to go inside it. Working with Juliet was a great pleasure for me in this 2 weeks, because I consider her a great friend, and she's been a very inspiring and wonderful and funny friend to me. So having her on set was just such a dream, and I think we were just really hungry to just do more together, and it was great. She was there on the very first day of shooting and really I thought galvanised the family with her brilliance. I think that there are a couple of elements that give it its surreal flavour. One of them being that it's all written from a very personal and particular place, so there's a unity of vision in it, in the dialogue and in the way that the story is fitted together, because it's no secret, right, that there's a personal story being reflected in this film, and so I think that just innately and in a million different invisible ways gives it its own poetry.